Design-wise, I do really like Tepig, but I also kind of feel like it's the weakest link in its own evolution line. The color scheme, to start with, is solid, especially the yellow streak on the black hood on its face does a great job of evoking its fire type while looking incredibly like an animal's natural markings, and I do find it adorable that the black markings on its body essentially kind of evokes the shape of a diaper, or maybe just a pair of children's shorts. That said, I'm really missing just a little bit of a hint of the decorativism and adornment that becomes the centerpiece of its later evolution designs. The snout looks more like an electrical plug than a pig's snout, and the big red ball on its tail is a design element that just kind of goes nowhere and doesn't really add anything. Again, it's not that Tepig is bad, it's just the weakest link in a line that is pretty darn strong otherwise. Pignite is a notable step up, introducing the curly decorative flame elements that become fully iconic on Emboar, and very cleverly manages to turn Tepig's diaper markings into something more like a wrestling singlet, leaning into the fighting type even further by adding glove-like markings to the arms to emphasize them. The body becoming fully egg-shaped also adds a lot of visual toughness to the design, with a big wide mouth and visible tusks to really put the gregarious enthusiasm into its design. The tail now also imitates the shape of a puff of smoke, which I think is a nice little detail here. Emboar takes all of this and dials it up to 11, basically perfecting it. It evokes simultaneously some of the wrestling aesthetics of Pignite and the dignified, severe energy you would expect from a depiction of some forgotten Three Kingdoms general. The Chinese inspiration is heavily on display here in the decorative yellow swirls and the stylization on the flame collar and the eyebrows. I've said before that I prefer animalistic Pokemon to anthropomorphic ones, and Emboar walks the balance between those things better than most. Like, yes, it is on two legs with a human aspect, but the giant club-like arms and three claws, plus that enormous Muppet mouth fully splitting its head in half, plus the fantastical elements of stylization, all of that together makes it feel much more like a monster or a mythical beast out of some ancient folklore than just a guy in an animal costume. Though I may never ever want to see another fire fighting starter in Pokemon ever again as long as I live, if it evolves into Emboar, I can't be too mad.